Hello everyone and welcome back to Bitwig Studio and Music Production. This is lesson 5.88, and in this lesson I just want to quickly talk about the various note effects inside of Bitwig Studio, but more specifically as to why I'm not going to be covering any of them in super great depth at this point, or specifically why I'm not going to cover two of them in great depth. So what we have in Bitwig Studio is the ability to drop in note effects before any of our instruments, and we can see those here: the arpeggiator, the diatonic transposer, the note filter, the note pitch shifter, and the transposition map. So these are the same thing as MIDI effects, meaning that if I'm playing something in either on my keyboard or if I put data in here, these effects occur before the instrument and they adjust the notes that I'm playing. Some of these are more utilitarian and, in my opinion, are kind of useless, or they're cop-outs. For example, we have the diatonic transposer here, which is going to make it so whatever you play on your keyboard will fit into a particular key or mode. And that's something that, it's helpful to a certain extent, but another side of the coin, you should hopefully be able to hear those different sorts of scales and pitch collections before choosing to write a piece of music, not just kind of throwing something in at random. But the big complaint for Bitwig Studio at this point is that it doesn't have any MIDI routing options. So if I'm in here and I'm looking at my instrument track as compared to my audio track, we see exactly the same thing here inside of the inspector panel, and we'll see the same thing when we look at our input and output. This is all audio routing. There is no MIDI routing. And for a lot of people, especially those trying to make the move from a different DAW into this one, that's a very frustrating and kind of a deal breaker move. Now for us and for our purposes and how we've been walking through this course, MIDI routing isn't something super essential to us, but there will be some times when it's very frustrating. Like in the next lesson, we're going to talk about the arpeggiator, and the arpeggiator is cool because it spits out these really unique rhythms for us to use. But a problem I have is that after it prints that rhythm, we have no way of going in and editing that MIDI data. We just have to have sustained notes in here, and that's kind of frustrating. But we're here at version 1.014, and I'm recording this video in early October. And what I will do is when version 1.1 comes out, I will go over these particular effects in more detail, specifically the transposition map and the diatonic transposer, so we can actually see the before and after when we're able to route our MIDI. Okay, but until then, I'm going to only talk about the arpeggiator in the next video, and we'll look at a couple of these other note effects as they can be used for very utilitarian and practical purposes. So strap in, we're going to take a look at the arpeggiator next, followed by looking at our various instrument containers. Thank you so much for watching, and you will hear from me again in the next lesson. Take care.